y'all. Well, I found this really cool Instant Pot classic pot roast dish that I wanted to make. I had a roast in my freezer, and a friend of mine, a coworker who also does gardening, had given me a jar of her tomatoes preserved. So this recipe allowed me to be able to use those tomatoes. So I'm just gonna go through a quick rehash. I didn't do an actual video while I was doing it. I wish I had, but it really turned out good. So I'm gonna post the link to where I found this recipe. It was certifiedangusbeef.com in their recipe section, and it really turned out good. So like I said, I'll put it in the link. Basically, you have your boneless chuck roast. You need 1.5 teaspoons of kosher or sea salt, 1 tablespoon vegetable oil, 1 large onion diced, 4 cloves garlic crushed, 1 cup beef broth, 1 sprig fresh rosemary, 3 sprigs fresh thyme, a 15-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, but of course we're using the preserves from our friend. Basically, it says this recipe was provided by Mike Vrobel, dadcooksdinner.com. Okay, so first of all, after you get your meat out, you rinse your meat off, you want to pat your meat dry. You want to pat the meat dry. You want to season the roast with 1 teaspoon of salt. You want to get your vegetable oil going in your skillet, and I use a black cast iron skillet. My mom taught me that was the best way to do steaks. So basically a roast is just a big steak. So anyway, once you get the oil going in the pan, you can actually do it in the Instant Pot if you like on the saute mode, or you could do it in the skillet. You want to sear both sides of the roast, and then you want to take it out and set it to the side. You want to add your onions and your garlic to the skillet. You also want to let that cook and soften about 5 minutes. Make sure you're scraping the bottom so that you're getting all that goodness mixed in with your onions. And at this point, you want to stir in the 1 cup of beef broth. Once you stir in the beef broth, you want to cook it for 1 more minute. Then you want to add your rosemary, your thyme, okay, into the juices. All right, now you want to take all of that goodness, scrape it into or leave it, if you're using a skillet, you're going to scrape it into the crock pot or the pressure cooker. If you did it on saute in the pressure cooker, you just want to add your meat into the pot on top of the onions and the garlic and the beef broth. Then you want to top the whole thing with your preserves or your can of diced tomatoes. Once you do that, you want to lock the pressure cooker and put it in for 70 minutes. And I tell you, when it came out of that pressure cooker, that meat was so tender. It was falling apart, and all the different flavors were mixed up in there so good. My family really enjoyed it, and I really appreciate my co-worker, gardener, for thinking of my family when she gave me those jarred tomatoes, because they were really delicious. And they really enhanced the meal that we had that evening. So I'll show you all a picture of what it looked like after everything was done, and that was dinner for the night.